You keep reaching for it. That is the specific texture of this kind of loss, the automatic, preconscious reaching for something that is no longer there. The hand extending toward the phone to send the message before you remember. The thought that forms itself into a sentence addressed to someone who is not available for that sentence anymore. The moment in the middle of an ordinary day when you almost tell them something, and then the almost lands, and the absence where the telling used to go is more present than anything in the room. The version of your life that you had been building in your mind, quietly, not even consciously most of the time, that has been dismantled by what recently changed. And you keep bumping into the space where the structure used to be, the way you bump into furniture that has been moved in the dark. This is not weakness. This is the most human thing there is. The reaching is evidence of genuine attachment, of real investment, of the specific quality of caring that leaves an impression when the thing it was organized around changes or leaves or closes. You invested in this, whatever this was. A person, a situation, a version of your life, an identity you had been growing into, a belief about what was going to happen next. You were not foolish to invest. The investing was real, and it was appropriate, and it has produced in you the very real, very disorienting experience of carrying the shape of something that is no longer filling it. I want you to stay with that feeling for one more moment before I tell you what is actually happening, because what I am about to tell you is only fully useful if you have let the loss be real first. Not explained away, not reframed before it has been felt. The loss is real. The grief is real. The disorientation of reaching for something that is no longer there is real. And it is not the whole story. Mars conjunct Saturn is active right now. And the reason this transit is the specific explanation for what you are experiencing, not comforting astrology language designed to make you feel better, but the actual mechanism behind what is leaving your life, is that this conjunction does something very particular. It removes with precision. Mars's force, acceleration, the energy that moves things that have been in one position into a different position. Saturn is structure and cosmic law, the principle of exact accounting, of what belongs where, of what has served its purpose and what has not. Together, in the conjunction that is active right now, they create the specific energetic conditions under which things that have been in one position are moved. Not gently, not gradually, not in the comfortable piecemeal way that allows you to slowly adjust, but with the precision of something that has been decided at a level above ordinary circumstance. What is leaving your life right now is not leaving because of bad luck. It is not leaving because you made a mistake, or because you were not enough, or because the universe is punishing you for something, or because you failed to do the right things in the right order. It is leaving because Saturn, which holds the long view accounting of what belongs in your life and what is not, has identified it as something that has been occupying space it was never meant to permanently occupy. And Mars arriving at Saturn's position has provided the force to move it. This is not a punishment. It is a rearrangement. A precise, uncomfortable, currently feels like loss rearrangement of your life by a force that is not emotional about the process, but is extraordinarily deliberate about the outcome. What Saturn moves, it moves because what comes next cannot arrive into a space that is still occupied by what was there before. The removal and the incoming are one continuous movement. You are currently inside the first part of that movement. The second part is already in motion. Here is the principle that makes the precision of what is happening possible to understand. And once you understand it, the loss changes character. Not in the sense of becoming painless. In the sense of becoming purposeful. Energy is not neutral. The specific energy that surrounds you, the relational energy, the circumstantial energy, the identity energy, the belief energy of the stories you carry about what your life is and what it is going to be, that energy is not just ambient background. It occupies space. Specifically, it occupies the space where different energy could be. When your life is full of something, a person whose presence consumes your emotional attention, a situation that absorbs your practical energy, a version of yourself that you are working to sustain even as it no longer fits, a belief that is structuring your choices even as it is no longer accurate. the thing that is meant to come next cannot enter. The space is occupied. The channel is full. This is not a failure. You did not do anything wrong by investing in the things you invested in. The person was real. The connection was real. The situation mattered. The version of yourself you were building was genuine. None of it was a mistake. But Saturn, which takes the long view, has determined that what those things were building toward has been built, or that the building they were capable of has reached its completion, and that continuing to occupy the space they are occupying is now preventing the arrival of what is next, of what is actually meant, of what the account, the one described yesterday, the one that was built through everything you chose and endured and stayed faithful to, is about to pay out. The person who left was taking up the space where someone actually capable of meeting you will need to be. The opportunity that closed was occupying the channel where an aligned one is approaching. The version of your life that didn't work out was filling the imagination and energy with a structure that, had it continued, would have required you to maintain something that was costing you more than it was giving indefinitely. The belief that has been shifting, the one about what you are allowed to have, or what you are capable of, or what the world is like, was structuring your choices in ways that the next phase of your life cannot afford. What just left made room. The room that was made is real. And what is moving to fill it is what this entire period has been building toward. Yesterday, the same conjunction that is active today was establishing what you are owed. The precise, karmic, Saturn-level accounting of what your integrity and patience and faithfulness to your own worth has accumulated. The reward side of the ledger. What Mars and Saturn working together deliver to someone whose account is in their favor. Today is not a separate event. It is the second part of the same movement. Yesterday was the accounting. Today is the clearing. The two are inseparable. You cannot receive what is owed without the space to receive it being prepared, and the space cannot be prepared without the removal of what was occupying it. What you are experiencing right now, the disorientation, the reaching for what is no longer there, the specific grief of something slipping away, is the clearing happening, the room being made, the channel being opened. The universe does not do things in a sequence that makes sense from the inside. It does things in the sequence that serves the outcome. And the outcome, the arrival of what the patient, integrity-filled, hard-won account has earned, requires the clearing to happen first. Requires the reaching for what is no longer there to precede the arrival of what is on its way. Requires the disorientation of the space where the structure used to be before the new structure can begin to form. You're not in a bad place. You're in a liminal place. The space between what was and what is coming. The held breath moment between the exhale and the inhale. And the specific discomfort of that space, the specific grief of the clearing, is the sign that the clearing is real and thorough and doing what it is designed to do. The only thing that can slow this down is resistance. And the resistance always arrives in the same form, holding on to what Saturn has already decided to move, trying to pull back into the space the thing that is leaving, investing your energy in reversing a clearing that has been precisely orchestrated by the same cosmic law that is also preparing the arrival of what comes next. The grief is not the same as resistance. Grieving what is leaving, feeling its loss, honoring the investment you made in it, allowing the disorientation to be real, that is not resistance. That is the appropriate human response to loss, and it does not slow the clearing. It is part of the clearing. Resistance looks different from grief. Resistance is the act of holding on, the energy directed at bringing back what has been moved, the bargaining with the terms of what is leaving, the investment of the future in recovering what Saturn has closed rather than receiving what Saturn is opening. Resistance is the choice to remain oriented toward the door that has closed rather than to the space that has been prepared. And that choice, made with the specific energy of someone who is fighting the very cosmic rearrangement that is preparing their own everything, is the one thing that can genuinely delay what is coming. Because what is coming needs you oriented forward, open, facing the space that the clearing has prepared rather than facing the thing that was moved to prepare it. The person who trusts the removal, who feels the grief and allows it and honors what was real about what is leaving, while remaining genuinely, groundedly open to what the space is being prepared for, that person receives what comes next with their full capacity, with the whole of the space that has been prepared, with the emotional and energetic availability that comes from having genuinely released what was moved rather than spending that availability in the direction of recovery. Do not spend your capacity fighting the clearing. Your capacity belongs to what is coming. The space that has been made in your life right now is real. You can feel it. The specific quality of a newly empty space is unmistakable, even when the emptiness is uncomfortable. The absence of the reaching toward something that used to orient your daily experience. The quiet that arrived where the noise of the previous arrangement used to be. The slightly disorienting freedom of not knowing yet what fills the space that was just prepared. That space is not a vacancy. It is not evidence of something you failed to hold. It is not the universe's way of showing you what you are without the things it removes. It is preparation, active, intentional, precisely calibrated preparation for the specific arrival that has been building toward your life across the entire extraordinary period you have been moving through. The person who is arriving, in whatever form the relational clearing has prepared space for, is not a replacement. They are the arrival that the previous arrangement was preventing. The opportunity that is approaching in the professional or creative clearing is not a consolation. It is the one that the closed door was blocking. The version of yourself that is beginning to emerge in the clearing of the old identity. The one that has been shifting in the quiet way that genuine identity shifts happen, is not a diminishment. It is the version that the arrangement you were maintaining was making impossible to fully inhabit. Everything that has left as the price of admission for everything that is coming. Not as punishment, as preparation, not as loss in the final sense, as clearing, as the specific, precise, Mars-Saturn ordained rearrangement of your life that makes what is genuinely yours finally, actually tangibly able to arrive. Stay in the space. That is what this moment is asking. Not with false positivity, not with the performance of being fine with what is leaving when you are not entirely fine with it. With the genuine, grounded, trust the process quality of someone who understands that the discomfort of the clearing is temporary and what comes through the cleared space is not. The room is being made. You can feel the making of it, even if right now it primarily feels like loss. The feeling will shift. The space will not remain empty. It is already, in the energetic architecture of what is approaching, being filled with what was always meant to be there. The arrival will come through the specific channel that the clearing opened, in the specific form that the space prepared for it, at the specific time that the Mars-Saturn precision of this transit has been working toward. You are not behind. You are not in the wrong place. You are not someone to whom things are being taken without return. You are someone whose life is being rearranged by the same cosmic law that yesterday established what you are owed, and today is preparing the space for the receiving of it. What just left was the price of admission. What is coming is worth every moment of the reaching for what is no longer there. Stay open. The room is ready, and what has been moving toward you for a long time is now, with nothing in its way, finally able to arrive.